Hi, it's Miles here at Fabricana with a quick little video. It's a really fun project making pom poms. These ones are really sweet. I can't stop touching them. It's a great little skill to have, a way of using your leftover yarn. I've used my leftover yarn to make these cute little cat toys. I'm going to bring this home to play with my cat. It could be also used for snowmen and all kinds of, imagine just sticking a little beak and eyes on here to make a little owl. So all kinds of uses for pom-poms. So hopefully you'll enjoy the content. You'll follow us on Facebook, you'll follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really cute pom-pom. This project is making me really nostalgic for my childhood watching Mr. Dress-Up, having a bit of a Mr. Dress-Up moment, a wonderful Canadian icon. I'm going to show you everything we need to make the pom-pom. So first we're going to have some kind of poster board, a nice heavy cardstock. I've got some scissors to cut my paper. I've got scissors, some nice sharp scissors to cut my yarn. I've got some yarn. This is just an acrylic craft yarn. I've got a Sharpie, which I'm going to use to draw my circle. You might just want to use a pencil. And I've got a device to make a circle. I'm just using a plastic cup, but a coffee cup or a jar would work. And I've got a couple of coins, and that's going to be my center circle. I just want to say, share a little story. When I was a kid, Saturday morning often meant craft time. And we would just use, instead of fancy paper, we'd cut up our cereal boxes. So we always just wanted to finish the cereal as quickly as we can so we could use the box to do crafts. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is create our little pom-pom maker. So I'm going to use my cup or whatever you're using to make your circle. Our cup's about 3 inches wide. I'm going to use my Sharpie just so you can see the line. You can use a pencil or any other drawing device at home. So I've got a perfect little circle. Now I need a second one. There we go. And I'm going to use a quarter in the center. If you're making a smaller pom-pom, cutting a smaller outside circle, you can maybe use a nickel. So I'm just going to center my quarter in the middle. I'm going to trace it out. I love the feeling of the pen against the quarter, feeling all the ridges. There we go. This is a really quick project, great to do with kids. So once I've got my circles made, looks like donuts. Again, very Canadian project here. I'm just going to cut out the outside edge of the circle. Try and do it exact as you can. Make sure you're not using your fabric scissors. We don't want to harm our fabric scissors. For the next part, I'm going to layer them on top of each other. Cut into the center like that, then holding them very carefully together. This probably looks odd for all you right-handed people out there, but maybe if you're looking at me, you get the idea that you can just mirror what I'm doing. I'm cutting out that inner circle. And then the last thing to do for our pom-pom maker is to just cut like a little piece of pie out here. Give ourselves a bit of room to work. So that's our pom-pom maker. So I'm just going to stop there and then I'll show you how to wrap the yarn. So before I start wrapping the yarn around my pom-pom maker, I'm just going to cut 3 lengths, about the length of my forearm to my fingertips, like that, of yarn. And this is going to become the string attached to our pom-pom at the end. But I'm going to do this now, because once I start making the pom-pom and cutting all the pieces, I might not have my hands free to do this later. So I'm just going to measure 3 lengths out and set them aside. So I'm just going to point out, it's good to have a ball of yarn woven so that you can pull yarn from the center of the ball, like that, then it's not going to get tangled. So what we're going to do is we're just going to secure with our thumb and our index finger the end of the yarn and we'll wrap over that so that we don't have to hold it anymore. And I'm just going to continue wrapping, kind of going around clockwise. It's going to take several wraps. So I'm going to start on this and I'll work on it a little bit and I'll show you my progress in just a second. So I'm continuing. You can see that I've done about 3/4 of my circle covered with yarn. I'm doing multiple layers. I'm trying to keep it quite tight. If I get loose at the end, all of these layers that I'm doing now are actually a little bit longer. So all of those pieces would be a little bit longer and my pom-pom won't be round anymore. So I'm trying to keep it nice and tight so all of the lengths of the pom-pom fringe will be consistently the same size. So I won't have a weird oval when I'm finished. So you can see it's going way faster now. I'm getting the hang of it. Pretty soon comes the scary part where I have to cut all this yarn. And I think I can feel it's about maybe 3/8 of an inch thick in the middle. And that's pretty good. I know I've got a lot of yarn on here. So I am going to cut my yarn. Now I've watched videos previously that basically put the scissors between the 2 layers of paper and cut. Now if you can do that, you're lucky. I'm having a really hard time cutting like that. So what I found in my first trial that I did earlier is I'm actually using my scissors to just cut off the ends of the yarn like that. See, it goes really fast. So it was a great trick. There is still a reason why I need 2 circles, 2 paper circles, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So I'm just going to get all these fringes cut, and I'm carefully pinching all these pieces in place because I don't want to lose them. That's the hard part. So it's like I'm giving a poodle a haircut, getting lots of little extra fringes popping off. Carefully turning my pom-pom around. I'll continue to do the last little bit cutting. Remember earlier when I said you want to cut your ties before you get to this point? Here's why, because I've got my hands full with my pom-pom holding on to all my fringe. But now the reason why I've got 2 pieces of hard paper is because I'm going to slide my 3 ties between the 2 layers. I'm going to try and make those ends even. I'm going to pull the ends of my ties. Oh, I missed one little fringe here. So trying to get my ties about the same length, and I'm just going to pull. I'm going to carefully, so I don't lose anything, I'm actually going to do not just 1 turn of a knot, but 1 more, so that when I pull this, I know it's really secure. So I'm just going to pull the knot as tight as I can, and I've also used 3 strings of yarn because that'll be strong. I would hate for my yarn to break at this point. So before I remove my paper, I'm going to do the exact same tie again, not once over but twice over to make it really secure. Tie that knot. So once I know that's really secure, I can remove the paper, and you can see it's very pom-pom-y already. Just going to shake it out a little bit, get rid of all that extra fluff. If you find that you have some little long bits, you can trim it. Again, just practice your hairdressing skills. Give it a little trim. Ours looks pretty even. Like I said, it has to do with kind of wrapping pretty tight. Now the last thing I'm going to show you in just a moment is how to braid the end. So one of the reasons we used 3 ties was not just for strength, but also because when the ties are folded in half and I have 6 ends, I can divide them into 3, which is exactly what I need to do a braid. So to make it easier on myself, I'm going to pin through my pin cushion into the ironing board just to secure. If you don't have your ironing board handy, maybe have a friend that can hold your pom-pom while you do the braid. So if anyone is hopefully familiar with braiding, you just basically want to bring your left over to the center, then the right over to the center, left into the center, right into the center. So I'll continue this braid and then I'll show you the finished pom-pom. So here we have it, with a little bit of help from behind the camera. My friend held the pom-pom while I finished the braid. I've tied the end in a knot, so it is ready to go. It just needs to be fluffed out a little bit, maybe a little bit more of a trim. It's ready to be stitched to the end of a hat. We call them toques in Canada. I think they call them beanies in the US. It could be really cute on the corner of a pillow. It makes a really cute little cat toy. I love this little gray one, looks like a little gray mouse. I think I'm gonna bring that home and play with my cat when I get home. So thank you so much for joining us for this content. Please continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell on YouTube to make sure that you're getting all the notifications, and we shall see you soon.